Well, hello there, konnichiwa, good morning to you all. So, this will be my review for episode 4 of High School Dxd New. So, this episode was, put it bluntly, fantastic. It was a fantastic episode, and I'm loving the way the story is simply just going forward or continue to be forward. Uh, so the episode starts with when the last one ended, and with Xenovia, Irina, Issei, Saji, Koneko, um, kinda divided into two groups. Uh, Xenovia and Irina go to the west parts of the city in search of Fried, the rogue priest, or the Excaliburs, more exactly. And Yuto, Koneko, Issei, and Saji go to the west parts of the city looking for the Excaliburs. And the group of Issei did later on did arrive at the place where they defeated that first rogue demon in the first season, and they kinda had a bad feeling, and then we see that they are disguised as priests, and we see Frigid appearing, and basically he is going on a rampage, killing more priests that belong to the search, and he is quite surprised but at the same time pleased to found Issei's group, and they start to battle and between Fred and Yuto, and they are almost evenly in terms of power and ability, and the strong points of Kiba, that is speed, is no longer of avail because Fried can match his speed. Then they kind of come to the conclusion that they need to in some way slow this guy down, and it's at that time that Saji, the one guy of that belongs to the group of the school president, kind of decides to show up his sacred gear, and apparently it has the ability to kind of release kind of string of energy and entrap the adversary. And during that process, Issei kind of is charging his sacred gear, and eventually transfers that power to Kiba, and that enables Kiba to kind of call forward his own power and use that ability that can spawn several or a big number of swords coming from the ground. And then we have the entrance of a character that was already spoke on last episode, the Bishop Valper. And basically, this guy was also in the building, and Kiba kinda goes crazy in a way. And then Valper kinda explains to Fried that he simply needs to use better the Excalibur, and kinda helps him how to figure that out. And when Fried do that, he is able to cut that thread of energy, and he charges at Yuto, and at that time he is stopped by Xenovia that came out because Koneko kinda sent a telephone message to her and to Irina that also shows up. And then they Valper kinda talks with Fried, and they decided to withdraw from scene because there are now two, besides the demons they need to fight, there are now two Excalibur users and they are at a disadvantage, so Valper kind of decides to withdraw with free. And after that, we see that Rias and Aquino arrive, and also the Student Council President Sona and Tsubaki, it's her vice president. And basically, they were uh, warned because apparently Rias kinda ordered Aquino to track down the two priests, Xenovia and Irina, to see what they are doing on the town. And due to that fact, they were able to come to this place. And eventually, well, then we have the, in a way, comedy because the student council president decides to punish Saji, and basically she spanks him in the ass. And at the same time, Riaz is kind of hearing the explanation of Issei about why he did that, and she kind of says that what they did was not good because that could make something bad happen. And she also asks uh, Koneko about what's going on because at this point Xenovia, Irina, and Kiba already departed following the priest and the bishop. So, and to hunt them down. And then Arias also decides to punish Issei, but it was funny the way they interact and such. And then we have the part of a great amount of fan service when Riaz and Issei arrived at home and they found Asia, and basically she's naked using simply a apron. And well, that was very funny, but he's the great overlord of fan service, and later on it's also Riaz that is using a naked apron, so well, that's the overload of fan service in this episode. And then we cut to the other day, and basically they are at the club and they did not receive any call from Kiba, and apparently that was the plan, that when he found Fried and the other guy, uh, they were kind of expecting that he could call Issei, but he never did it. And they are kind of talking at the club room. Uh, we have Koneko, Issei, Akiano, and Riaz. And then the Riaz is kind of explaining that they did send all their um, pets searching through the town to try to find the location of or either the priests or Ikiba. And eventually the pet of Riaz kind of found Irina seriously wounded in a park or something like that. And they go to that place. Asia tries to help her out, but his sacred gear, it's not enough to help her out. Then we see Sona and the vice president of Sona appearing, and Sona kind of says that they do have a device that could heal her and save her, and so they kind of decided to Tsubaki, the vice president of the student council, kind of takes Irina and goes away. And then we have Sona, Saji, um, Akeno, Rias, Koneko, Issei. They are talking with each other, and then we see Fried appearing again. And when they are preparing to fight, Fried says that he did not came to fight. He is the messenger of his boss. And then all them feel the awful energy, and we see a fallen angel on the sky. And well, it's a fallen angel that is not on the level of Renel that appeared on the first season. And even Riaz explains that this guy has, I guess it's 5 or 6 pair of wings. So he is one of the big shots of the fallen angels. And we learn this guy name, and the name of this guy is Kokabiel. And basically the goal of this guy basically is start a new war between the fallen angels, the demons, and the angels. And because it also says that the other two leaders of the fallen angels, Azazel and Samhaizai, they are doing their own stuff, and they are not very interested in start a new war. But this guy is very interested in start a new wars, and he then kind of decides that he will wipe out these demons, especially Rias because she is the sister of uh, Sears X Lucifer, the ruler of Hell, and also Sona, that is the sister of one guy called Leviathan, that is one of the big shots of Hell. And he says that if he takes them out, the Hell will be forced to going to attack as a response to that attack, and that will start the war that this guy wants. And basically, for that, he is kind of using um, he is kind of using the powers of the Excaliburs, and he also explains that even as Azazel is kind of collecting sacred gears. And also one thing that I forgot to mention at the start of the episode, Shinovia does confirm that the white dragon has already awakened. So and then he kinda attacks them, and then he goes to the academy, and apparently he plans to start his attack on the academy, killing all that here are in that place. And I think it's Rias that explains to the others that this guy powers is he possesses enough power to simply wipe out the entire city if he wants. So this is very good pacing or excellent pacing. The story is advancing a lot, and later on we do learn that this guy Fried is kind of doing some kind of ritual that is being made by the bishop with a strange um, symbol in the ground. And then Rias, at the end of the episode, kind of decides to go to the academy to face off this fallen angel. So next episode, I guess it will be the battle against this guy, and I'm quite curious to see how they will portray that. So this series already only has 4 episodes, but it's amazing. And honestly, this series does not go. It's not even close to what happened on the last season. That basically was kind of the awakening of the powers of Issei. Uh, this series started to focus on Kiba's story, and then it after this episode it goes even further ahead, because basically we now have this guy Kokabio, one of the leaders of the fallen angels, that basically wishes to start a 3-part war with hell and with heaven. So this is very good. This was very interesting. I'm loving this. So I can I looking forward for next week episode. So um, if you have your own ideas or comments, please post them below. This is my review then. Hope you enjoy. Stay well. Peace. See you soon.